Welcome to Soulful Journey. I'm Venus Jones, and I just want to start off by saying you are amazing. And I'm so happy that I'm on this journey with you. Today, I want to tell you what Soulful Journey is all about. This Soulful Journey series is a show and tell series that I am looking so forward to, because what you don't know is that I love talking with my friends. So I thought, how can I reach out to my friends and allow you to listen in on some of the conversations that we have? So I have some amazing, gifted, creative people in my life, and I just want to bring them to you when I can. Tonight, I'm really going to be talking a little bit about just palm readings and moon magic with a friend of mine who should join me soon. I hope he doesn't chicken out on me. I don't think he will. But if he does, I want you to know that you can also join me at any time. Feel free to go into the chat and write any message that you choose. If you want me to see who you are, you have to sometimes put your name in there so that I know, because we're broadcasting in more than one place right now. But I'm going to begin with some poetry, because some of you know me for that. And some of you are in need of inspiration, as I am. What grounds me? We're going to be talking about all things that are good for the soul during this series, but what does ground me and what brings me joy? There are so many things. I'm such an earthy girl. You know, my first CD was called Earth to Venus, because when I was little, I was always daydreaming and looking out the window at the trees like this. And they would say Earth to Venus. And so I called my first CD Venus to Earth. I want to let go a little bit with you by maybe starting with on that note, something that brings me back to the soul is nature. And I'll begin with this poem that I love, and it always grounds me. It's called Poetry. Actually, let's see how we can do this. I feel something else coming on. Ooh, maybe I should do something else given the theme tonight. I just felt a different poem. And it's more of a song. Hi, Christy. I love you too. Thank you for being the first to send me some inspiration here. I need your inspiration just like you might need mine. I appreciate you. So sometimes you have to give me a sign, and tonight we're talking about signs. Give me a sign. I'll be yours before us, Miss Present and Miss After. Tell me the time. We can wake up in a city under sea. There is no way that this hunger could lead me to disaster. So hold my hand and meet me near the river and the tree. Because I'm love, and wherever you go, I will be. I used to think the silly things. I used to want someone who never cared for me. Now I've grown, and the real deal. That is what I see. The sky could crack, the earth could quake. Whoa, the final prophecy. I have no fear when in your arms. Nothing else matters to me. So give me a sign. I'll be yours before us, Miss Present and Miss After. You tell me the time. We can wake up in a city under sea. There is no way that this hunger would lead me to disaster. So hold my hand and meet me near the river and the tree. Because I'm love, and wherever you go, I will be. Because I'm love, and wherever you go, I will be. Because I'm love. Because I'm love. Because I'm love. Wherever you go, I will be. I dedicate that to my mama Sue, who just passed away, but she is love and I am love, so we will always be together. Yes? Go shake the maracas. You have to bring some maracas to this soulful journey. We have to bring some percussion. I want you to bring your love. I want you to also remember that it is so important to bring your heart and your mind. My name is Venus Jones, and that was a poem called I'm Love. And I want to read one more piece before I introduce you to our special guest tonight, who is in the house, okay? Just like me, we all in the house, most of us. But this piece is called Palm Readings. There are weather patterns on palms that forecast your tidal waves. Circles lie underneath broken pieces. Imperfection is perfect at 6 and 9. Half moons set on cuticles at your fingertips. The sky is clearly written on your face. Distant roads seem near. The path less traveled is open for exploration. There are roads beyond the frontier. We can journey beyond the constraints of many maps. We rotate differently, but I see us as the same. We all search for direction. Lead me to the center of your heart. Palm prints are patterns, each a distant yellow, red, white, or brown mark. Are you a molehill or a mountain? Have you ever studied the skin you're in? There's a unique texture in this rocky place. Beneath the vast stretch of quicksand lies deep space. Do you want to know the truth about your fate? Your future is written in between the lines. Pay attention to the gravity that grounds you. I will dissect the patterns on your palms. Just purchase another reading. That is from the collection She Rose. And I am so excited to share with you someone who knows a lot more about the metaphysical than I do. and who actually does real readings, the one and only Germystic. I want to have Germystic come on in. What is really real?
Hey, hey, what's happening? What's happening over there? Maraca Shake, Maraca Shake.
Yay, Rocker Shake! You all
Thank
have
you
to
so much for inviting me to your show. I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you so much for being here. And I will let people know what happens is at the beginning of the show, the way this goes is I am going to start with something that reminds me of the guest that I'm featuring.
Mhm.
And that is why I started with something about signs and palm readings, because Germystic is going to really share more with you. I've known Germystic as a Renaissance man. He and I go way back to DJ days in WZIP times in Akron, Ohio. Shout out to anybody from Akron who's watching. But
Yeah,
he is
right.
so much more than an on-air personality. He is I see him as a dancer. He is a spiritual guide to so many. And I'll let him tell you more about exactly what he wants to share with you, because so he'll have about a few minutes to share. We'll come back together and we'll talk about something more in regards to what's going on today and how it applies, what he just talked about, how it applies to what's going on right now in the moment.
Right.
And we'll go from there, and then we'll end with maybe a collaboration or something like question and answers, depending on how many people have questions in the chat. So if you have questions in the chat, feel free to get take some notes now and think about what you want to ask. And also know that after this, we may have open it up if two or more are gathered for open mic around 7 o'clock. So let's get this party started. And now I'm going to give you the floor so you can just, I'm going to remove myself.
Okay. I really appreciated that introduction that Venus gave to me, and I am open arms stepping into the love zone, the soulful journey. One of the many things that I want to share with you about myself is what I do. I'll get into the hows of what I do. And then I'm open to interpreting any readings or things that we get into later on that she and I can discuss along with you. I go by the name of Germystic. And what I do is I do feng shui, which I'm certified in. I'm also certified in Akashic record reading. I do numerology, astrology. I do energy readings. I do energy work. I do things that involve looking at spiritual cards, spiritual readings, so that we can get more into you and reminding you that you are in control of your life. And with your choices that you make, whether it's for the good or the not as good, it's to get you on the track of what's best. And who knows better than you than you? And so it's about giving you your power back, reclaiming yourself. Like Maxine Waters says, reclaiming your time. That's where we're at right now. We're reclaiming our time. It's important for us to reclaim ourselves so that we can live our best lives moving forward constantly. One of the things that I do to get things started most often when I do interviews or settings, I like to be able to give readings or give some clarifications using numerology. We're in the year 2020. And when you add those digits across, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, you get the number 4. The number 4 represents discipline, structure. It represents foundation. As you can see, there are other energies that are causing those things to implode and explode. I want you to be aware of that. That spirit is asking you to discipline yourself, restructure yourself, refocus yourself, and know that what happens on the outside can remain there, but what's most important is what you're doing on the inside to solidify how you connect to the rest of the world. So be not in fear. Fear not. Be aware that what's taking place is necessary. The world is going through a cleanse, and that's what we're doing right now. We're cleansing. So without further ado, I'm going to get into a little bit of Venus's vibration and give you an example of what it is that I do when I do numerology. So she's coming back to 4 to get us moving. Numerology is a study of numbers, very similar to astrology. And what we're doing is we're taking the month that you're born plus the day that you're born, and we're adding it to the current year to give you an idea of what energies you're carrying over into this year and what you need to be focused on, or what may be happening to give you some type of awareness of, oh, now I'm understanding what's going on in my life. So Venus, we'll take your birthday. You share with me your birthday is June 5th, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I am a
June 5th.
Gemini.
Gemini, yes, and we'll get into astrology a little bit later too.
Okay, all
June
right.
5th is going to be, you take the 6 plus the 5 plus the 2 plus the 2. So that's going to be 6 plus 5 is 11, plus the year that we in, there's going to be another 2 plus another 2. So the year we in is 4 plus your 11. 11 plus 4 equals 15. You break the numbers down. You take that 15, 1 plus 5 equals 6. That is the cycle that you're in right now. The number 6 cycle means home life is going to be very important for you to focus on. Not only with your physical home, but how you feel at home in your body. It's about beautification. It's about bringing harmony. It's about focusing on family. This is going to be a year where family is going to be very important to your outlook and your way of life for the next 12 months. It's going to mean that you're going to have to put other things, people in front of your own desires. It's going to be your sacrifice. It doesn't mean that you're going to sacrifice all of who you are. It's going to mean that you're going to prioritize in such a way that you're giving enough energy and space to those you love, so that you're balancing between making sure they're okay and making sure your cup is full before you offer your energy over. Making sure that you're building from a place at home where you are giving not only to yourself, for yourself, with yourself.
I
This is
love
all
that.
encompassing of being at home in your shell. You know, this is a temporary space, but while you're here, give it your 100. So this year, as an example, in Venus's life, her focus is home, family, harmony, within the structures and the disciplines of the year 2020. That's a little bit of what I do as far as my reading to introduce you to numerology. From that standpoint, we go further. We go into the dynamics of your astrological will. We start looking at how the numbers are affecting you based on your name. Your name is a direct connection to the rest of the world. It has energy. So how it's spelled, how it's pronounced, all creates a vibration. You know, we're in the house of poetry, we're in the house of creativity. So it's all about vibes. So
Yes.
how you say a name and what you feel when you hear a name resonates. And you have the ability to change that resonation based on how you spell your name. It sounds simple. It is simple, but it can create complexity based on vibration of numbers, which is so crucial to how we live. And it makes so much sense when we're looking at how metaphysics works. It's bigger than you. The universe is big, but the universe is also inside of you. So it's in direct correlation to what goes on inside is on the reflection outside. So be not moved by what's going on around you, because you're in control of your universe, and what you can't control, you let go of. You surrender.
Yes. Shake the maracas on that.
Hey,
We
hey,
are
hey, hey.
releasing so much. So, like I said, we're releasing so many people are going through a collective pain right now. As I said, we were going to come back and bring this to full circle to what is going on in the current day. Being a lot of us fell in love with Black Panther, and like
Yes.
the whole thing that happened with Chadwick, I want to like weigh in with you on that. But before I do that, because I know one of the things I wanted to do is talk about, we have about 45 minutes, and I want to talk about what you might have brought to the table today. I know you brought your skills in regards to the all of this that you're teaching us and reminding us in regards to like the importance of numerology, and how, because some people may be like, okay, what is numerology? Isn't it just like the study of numbers?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
like
It is.
in your
It
life and
is
how
the
it shows
study of
up?
numbers. And it's very similar when you study it. It's very much like the cousin of astrology,
I
because
got
you're
you.
taking symbols and the dates that you're born, and you're bringing all that energy in to give you an inclination or an idea of what you're made of and what direction you may be headed in. It's very cyclical, and it works very much in tandem with astrology, and they really build on each other. So it's a science. It definitely is a science.
So when
And
people are feeling uncertain, because I one of the things I put in the chat was in the beginning was like, okay, do you feel uncertain? Do you need a reading? Like these numerology readings, like some people go to them to remind themselves of their divine design. Because I was talking to a coach earlier today, and he was just talking about your divine design. I don't know. There's so many things like the like that Myers-Briggs. Is that part of numerology? Like a lot of people are familiar with that. Is that the
yeah,
same thing?
that I don't know how close that is to numerology. I do know that when you're going deep into psychology studies, you will
Mm,
find that there'll be similarities in what you obtain as far as information with astrological, numerological, and psychological works. You'll
yeah.
find that when you study all those things, when you start to look at them, I'm a very good big studier of things across the board and how they fit. When you
Yeah.
piece them together, you'll start to see that what you may learn about your personality
So, so,
psychologically.
so going back full circles, because I want people to know that I'm not
Yeah.
lost. I do think in circles, but because I know I brought up Chadwick and like what is happening in the world right now. Is there something like in regards to what you just explained to us about the year 2020? Is there something that predicted that this is going to happen for those who do study metaphysics? Like that
Okay.
there's
Right.
so much going on right now.
Okay.
Do,
Many people have looked at 2020 as being what the year 2000 was supposed to be. You know,
mm,
when we from
interesting.
1999 to 2000, it was supposed to be such this big turnover, a lot of um, just dishevelment, movement, things breaking down or things coming apart and having to restructure. When in fact, 2020 seems to be that year. When we're
It
looking
really
at a lot of things, you know,
is.
from the beginning from the
Yeah,
beginning, when
from
we
the
look
beginning,
at whether
nonstop. Yeah.
the going in from the New Year's, starting off the month with Kobe Bryant, and
Right.
then not only just looking at our celebrity figures, but actually looking at other things like what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the environment, what's going on with um, this people's well-being, health, all these things. Uh,
Yes.
it, that's all that's going on in 2020. So when you
So
look
I have
at
to ask you, I have to shift it just a little bit because I want to ask you because part of this, what I want to do with my creative and visionary friends is I want to ask you like questions like this. What challenge have you overcome and you know that you thought that would defeat you during this year? Even you could say just maybe even last week, given it's 2020.
right, yeah,
Because we all been going through it. Okay. And I thought, oh
yes,
my gosh.
yes,
Um,
nonstop,
but
yes.
I want to ask that question for you. Like, and because I want people to come to this show and think, wow, that happened to that person. And I can so relate. At least I know there's hope at the end. Is there something you want to share, or is there an artifact or anything that you brought to the table that you want to share with us in regards to something that helped you overcome times like this of
Okay,
challenge?
I can definitely tell you that with all that's going on, with having no control and having to surrender to what's taking place as far as COVID, and having to be okay with making those changes and not fighting the vibration of submitting to what's going on and putting plans aside and just restructuring our lives or my life to adapt. The biggest challenge for me this year, what I would have to say, was looking at family members' health situations outside of COVID,
Yeah.
having the wisdom or the knowledge to be able to help, but being unable to physically be there for them to assist because of
That
COVID.
part.
So the challenge for me and others has been, how do you help heal, love, and uh, support when you can't physically be there for those that you love? So the metaphysics is where I've gone to help me to first understand what we're going through and possibly look at how long it's going to take to get through it. And then also just looking at what I can do for myself to keep my peace and my sanity so that I don't let what's going on and what I can't do block me from not doing anything at all. So I think the biggest comeuppance up in this situation has been being able to share with those I love what I know and allowing them to move through what I share on their own, taking my ego out of it and just being okay with how things go without my direct assistance, where without me being there, surrendering control. It's challenging, especially when you talk about love. You talked about love at the beginning of your show, in your poem. Love has a lot to do with surrendering control, and I think a challenging thing for all of us is when you love something or someone, how do you do that while watching them potentially suffer?
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do that? So,
or how do you do that from a distance even?
That has a lot to do.
Talk about that, because like, is it about a visualization practice or meditation that you do to send them? Because we always talk about, I'm sending you love.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
I need to ask somebody who really studies this.
Right,
Like,
right.
What does that really look like? Is there a better way we can really practice doing that, especially with COVID, right?
Yeah. One of the things that I was doing to assist, I look at prayer is if you're in thought about somebody or if you're in concern, sending them energy is one thing, but then also I do a lot of research. I use a lot of my tools, like there's a way of reading coins called the I Ching, which is a Chinese divination. And what I do is I look at, okay, we're in COVID. How do we make the immune system strong? Because we've been told nothing can cure it, but there are some things you can do to keep yourself strong and healthy, or at least more resistant. So I look online for supplements that I'm aware of, or explore supplements I don't know anything about, and do readings on each one to see what actually fits for an individual's body based on what they're going through, whether or not they have an underlying health condition, to keep them strong, because there's no guarantee, but there is something called self-preservation that you can do better than what you've been doing to keep yourself healthy. So I do that. I go into my metaphysical box and do whatever I can to keep myself sane, and then ask spirit directly, what do you want me to do? Because maybe sometimes when you're an ego and you want to help, maybe spirit is like, I need you to just take care of you. That's not your goal or responsibility to take care of them right now. They have their lessons to learn. They have their karma to go through. And you may not have all the answers. So what I want you to do is sit with it. Yeah. And if they're open to it, give it to them. But I want you to give with a free hand. Don't give with the expectation that once you give the information, they're going to take it and use it. That's not how that works. You give it, you offer it, and you let go, which is a very big challenge for me, because I want to see people succeed. I want to see people win. So if I'm not seeing the result or seeing the motion behind what we've talked about, it actually puts me in a state of I get angry. But that's what COVID is teaching us. You can be all those things, but in the end, to go up against something that you have no power over teaches the ultimate lesson in surrender. Surrender. And that's a challenging thing to do in this time, but it's the best thing to do. It relieves stress, and it puts you in a better frame of mind of listening to spirit instead of ego when it's time to move.
Yeah, definitely. Spirit versus ego.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You were saying, Venus?
I was just wondering, like, what's I obviously you know a lot about I Ching and the cars, and I have like different ones. I the funny thing about the poem that I did in the beginning of the show was like, when I think about those people that do readings, I know that that's a business, right? And then for me, I know there's some of my spiritual friends It reminds me of like when we go, some people, I know there's some people who may be like, I don't know, depending on what their beliefs are. Like they might be thinking, I don't know about that. They're scared around it. Like, oh, that seemed a little weird, the whole I Ching and like
Yeah.
what do you say to people that like are like, I don't know, even though it's ancient art or
Yes.
practice. But
Yes.
what do you say to people who are a little afraid of these types of things, and especially when they know that some people they don't really have a real gift. They're just pretending.
Yeah.
And I know
Yes.
you've seen it, and I would love to know, like, if you have stories around like somebody who was amazing, you was like, oh, hell, I mean, heaven, heaven,
Yeah.
this person is,
Right.
is tuned into something higher power. Okay.
Right. Right. Yes.
Like when you was like, okay, now you really tried to ask me for another
Yeah.
reason, but that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah. You're right. Right. Right.
Can we
Yes.
talk about that? Like,
Yeah. Well, when you're doing this type of work, you're going to deal with a lot of things we learned early on about what does it mean when you practice divination, or what does it mean when you consult the occult or things of that nature. And I look at it like this. So a reader told me one time, she said, the gift of foresight is just that. It's a gift. However you use the tool, whatever tools you use to get there. It's like looking at life without blinders on and using your third eye to its highest degree, so that when you're making decisions or choices, you're not just you're getting out of ego and stepping into your space, however you choose to practice, whether you
yeah,
need tools or not. Some people go to prayer and let the prayer come through and listen through
yeah,
meditation.
they're really good at
Some
listening to the
right,
source.
and then some
Yeah,
indigenous people,
or talking.
tribes from whether
Mhm.
it be Africa, India, the Americas, use divination practices and have with reverence. They didn't use it with the sense of it's something bad. It was something that was used for uh, connecting and foreseeing what was to come. So when people are in question about what it is that I'm doing or how I do it, or they have some intrepidation, one of the things I stopped doing was I stopped trying to prove what it was. And I was very settled in either you want a reading or you don't, because I wasn't going to engage in proving to someone that it was legitimate, proving to someone that it was good.
But can we
Because
go, well, I love that you brought up food again, because I
mm,
remember reading sometime about, I haven't studied this as much as I would like, but when you talk, somebody said the pineal gland, and like when you talk about the third eye,
mhm.
um, shout out to Third Eye Spoken, which was a troupe that used to be a part of poetry. Hey, they would talk about the third eye, but
Yeah,
okay, like
right.
when you really are like that third eye, that pineal gland, it is connected to what you eat, right? You can see,
Yes.
you can be more clairvoyant by
Hmm.
what you choose
Yes.
to eat. I hear.
Amen. That is very true. That's
So
very
you
true.
be on the
What
dang
I
on readings, possibly, if you was really taking care of the vessel.
Yeah, the vessel,
That is what you're saying.
so you think cleanliness is next to godliness. So the good book says. So if the vessel is clean and clear, it makes you more in tune. There are foods that are very good for what they call decalcifying or healing the pineal gland. Raw cacao is good for the pineal gland. Avocados. There are
Really?
certain
I
foods
like
that,
avocados. Ooh, good.
right?
I'm on
You're
point.
right. So the more you feed it, and just like when you exercise, you get stronger. The more you work with the energy, you work with that part of you that has been ignored or not looked at as a muscle. When you start to work more with it, it becomes more in tune to you to it, and it becomes your friend, your partner. And you realize you're never alone.
Yeah.
You always have guidance. You always have that third eye that's taking care of what your next step should be. So feed it,
Yeah.
nourish it. You
Yeah.
nourish it, it will nourish you. Then that's something that's a promise, not from me, but that's just a promise in from spirit, letting you know that taking care of you, taking care of this that encases, or spirit is encasing your body, it will it's going to mirror that nurture and love. It just has to. and it will show up in your life, your focus,
Yes.
your intention, your manifestation, because that's what you're doing, manifesting. And do understand, you do not have to be a vegetarian. You do
Okay.
not have to,
I was about to ask that.
you do not have to eat a certain way and be rigid with your practices. You want to, what I do is I eat according to my blood type.
Mm.
And everybody's going to do their own thing in different ways, but you want to make sure that you're feeding your system what it needs, what makes you happy and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is energy.
Whatever you want, if you pray over it.
Hey,
I'm like, oh, they got the power of prayer. They on that other level.
there it is, right? So that's enough belief. If your belief is so strong and it's so connected to how things work for you in your life, you can eat how you want and have the power to tell your body, I need you to take this nutrients out of, take as much nutrients out of the food I'm taking in, release all that no longer serves. Some people eat like that, with that kind of prayer. Use what's good and excrete what's bad.
Yeah. So, but when the more we take care of ourselves, the more in alignment we are with our bodies, the more we can manifest. The more, what I'm hearing, the more we can send a better, higher vibration to our family and our friends, even
Absolutely.
if we can't touch them physically, because we know that there's I mentioned this book before as well, and I know you brought up Eat by Your Blood Type. I don't know who wrote that, but Gary Chapman's love language, especially for those who their love language is physical touch. And I've been feeling so much collective pain for them. So I'm just trying, especially if they're home alone. Is there anything you can talk about metaphysically that those people who that's their love language? How do you help them?
Wow. When it comes to that, when you look at starting with self, above and beyond all love language, when we're speaking on how we deal with each other, if we're taking care of self first, that would mean, are we going to take a sea salt bath? Are we going to light a candle?
I see.
Are we going to do meditation? Are we going to clean our home? Are we going to feng shui it so it resonates a vibration so that it can clear itself out? Am I going to move stuff out of my way? That means paperwork, clothes. What do I need to do on a physical level? Clutter, right? Clutter blocks. Clutter blocks. And remember, what you see on the outside in your room represents what's going on in your subconscious, what's going on in your mind.
And I felt that, like, if I have a lot of clutter and things around me or my desk or something, I feel like my mind is cluttered. And I feel like when I'm clearing things up, it does feel like I do better.
Absolutely. And I say this, when you're doing that type of stuff, when you clear the space, then what you can do for yourself, if you're a physical touch person or the person you want to communicate with is not there, you take pictures of them, you light candles, and just like like we did when we were children, you create a conversation with their picture as if they are there.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that advice.
You do things so that, remember, we're all energy, and you're sending vibration to them through a photograph or through your imagination. The energy is felt. It may not be felt with a strong like punch or imprint, but it's felt on a cellular level where there's a sense of ease, there's a sense of calm for not only you, but for them as well. So there are ways in which you can start with just taking care of you first. Let's start taking care of our energies.
I remember hearing, this is something I've never forgot, Germystic. I remember someone telling me that even when you, like, some people, when they think of meditation, they think of you have to have your eyes closed.
Yeah.
But just walking meditations, there's bathing meditations. Like, even when you could, be like, because how often we don't care about our elbow until we get it hurt, until it's hurt.
That's right.
Thank you for, allowing my arm to move, and like just that, even that sense of love even to your own body, once practicing on yourself first, right? Before you doing it for someone else who's distant from you.
Right. Because what happens when you're like you just said, when you do that and you take care of yourself, then you have something to give over to someone else. You know, Iyanla said something, Iyanla Van Zant said something, and I quote her a lot because I like her teaching. She said, it's not being selfish when you're taking care of yourself, you're being self-full. So that when you get full on yourself, you then, you know, your cup runneth over. So
Yeah.
what's in the cup is yours, but when runs out of the cup, you can give away.
Yeah.
That way, you're not coming from an empty place and feeling drained or feeling like you've obligated yourself to give away energy that you don't have.
That you
You
don't
know, and
even.
you want to make sure that you don't deplete yourself, making sure everybody else is okay without you taking
Yeah.
care of you first.
And Lisa Nichols says the same thing. She said, you have to give from your overflow. Ideally, that's what you want to do.
Amen. That's
Give
it.
overflow, where it's just falling over on the
Yeah,
saucer.
yeah. That's the best way to do it.
That's where I'm up. That's what I'm working for. That's what I'm
Yes.
working for. And I
Yes.
can give a shout out to some people in the chat. I can't see everybody's name because your name is in it, but I'm seeing people saying heaven yes to you. They're saying come on, clean and clear. I got one like blockage. Okay. And we're getting yes.
I'm loving it. Thank you, y'all.
For participating in the chat. If you have any questions, this is the time. We only have a few more minutes while we have Germystic on the line. If you have any questions about I Ching, he brought up numerology.
Yes.
He talked about how you can, just take care of yourself in regards to your health and wellness and how that affects not just yourself but others. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. I'll definitely deliver. But while we are thinking up and thinking about something germinating, while they are germinating,
hey, use it.
Okay, for the Germanist.
Yes.
Can we talk about? Can we talk about the more magic that you would do by at least talking about, like, if you could give yourself advice, your younger self advice, what would you say?
I would tell my younger self, listen to your heart and not other people. Listen to your heart and not other people's opinions about what's best for you. Because when you listen to your heart, you're listening to God or listening to the Most High, whatever you call that, that's bigger than you. And you will never be misdirected by what made you. But you can be misdirected by those who are around you who don't know what's best for you. That's only you and the Creator's contract that knows what's best for you. So I would always say that I would tell my younger self, if you listen to your heart, you'll be okay. Because when you're listening to your heart, you're trusting God. And when you trust God, all is good.
All is good. Hey, woman, amen.
Hey. Boom, shaka, laka, laka, for real. And you know what? I want to just mention very briefly what you mentioned about the elbow. You know, I don't know if you have this book or not, but I want to share for those who don't know. There's a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Yes.
It's called You Can Heal Life, and she actually breaks down the body parts with the emotions that are attached to each body part that creates an illness, but then gives an affirmation to heal that energy that's been displaced or misplaced.
Okay.
When I talk about blood type, that book about eating right according to your blood type was made by the author Peter J. D'Adamo.
Okay.
Excellent foundation for anyone to just bring inflammation down. Most of our health issues are due to inflammation. If you can take the inflammation down on what you eat.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Sebi saying that too.
Yeah, take the inflammation down on what you eat, along with taking the inflammation out on what you think, say, and do. Because hey, what goes on in here, anger, thoughts, worry, overthinking, things that we may do habitually, it's affecting your health. And no matter what you put in it, tablet, pill, food, if the physiological, if the mental, spiritual, or emotional is not intact, the vitamin or the good food won't be as good for you or be used by your body in its best way until all is working together. So
that's love. That's
I'm
love. That's
hey,
love. That's clarity.
Hey, pull that through. Pull that through.
So you bringing in some ascended masters knowledge.
Hey. Okay. Bring them cards out.
I mean, I'm talking amethyst rocks.
Hey, Bring it. Amethyst is for the heart. Listen, she's telling y'all the stones. Pay attention to animals as well. Animal totems are very important when it comes to.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Oh my God. And you have a question in the chat. I'm dropping stuff.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Tell us a question.
Okay. But you have a question in the chat. I don't know if we have time though. But it says, can you break down? Because, but I want to talk about the animals. Because
I know it's so much.
On my doorstep, and I was like, "Oh, that's my mother-in-law. She just passed." I was like, "Oh, normally the animals just run, the birds run away when you come, but they was looking in, But it was 6. First it started at 3, then it was 6. I got the double portion of blessings,
What kind of animal was it? What kind of animal?
I tried to look up these birds. I think they're Tawi birds, but I'm not sure completely. But they're so cute, and I think the little male ones have like the orange on them and stuff.
Yeah,
but they seem like they just keep checking on me and Steve.
Yes, so, animals when they come to you or when you see them are always symbolic and mean something. That has to do with
look up totem. It brings me so much joy because it seems so important. Like it's a reading. It's a metaphysical reading. Like if you really are paying attention.
That's it. You're paying attention and knowing that metaphysics is happening 24/7 all the time.
You just have to every day. How many signs do we miss, Lord?
Right. You know what I'm saying? What does it take for you to listen? What does it take for you to pay attention? It's like just awareness. Once you're aware, use what's given to you, which is an everyday journey. Absolutely.
Yes. So,
but what's the point?
The question that we have in the chat, and I gotta maybe we have maybe 3 more minutes. I will go a little over.
Okay.
Can you break down for the number 11 based on this person's birthday? She says she's curious, or he says he's. I'm sorry. You have to log in because if then I don't know your name. So, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The number 11. Are you open to that, or do you want to give them your information?
Yeah, okay. No, I have no problem with that. Okay, so
number 11. They're
looking at a number 11. Okay.
Yes.
Any number that's a double digit of the same number. The numbers 11, 22, 33, 44, and so on. Those are considered master numbers. And so when we're adding numbers across to get a summation, sometimes you'll come up with 11 or 22. And some people break that number down from an 11 to a 2. And that's not how all numerology works. Most times the master number stays a master number and isn't broken down. And that has a lot to do with that person has a path that is demanding and requiring more of them because they're here to do a lot with their energy.
Oh, well,
now, it's not going to come easy.
I just found out who the person who gives the question. Oh, and I can validate that. I know to do big things. Okay, that is Aisha Sanders. Oh my gosh, I know you to do great things. So
11 energy
is confirmation. I hope you got that, sis. 11 is 11. A powerful. What about when we see 11? Have somebody?
Okay, I'll squeeze a little as fast as I can.
11 and 11. Okay. What about when we see 11 and 11? There's like this 11-11 awakening. Can we talk about that?
Well, 11 is looked at as the Christ messenger number. That means it's saying you're a direct conduit when you let go of your thoughts and just stand in knowing that you're in direct connection with spirit all the time, and you just listen. And what I said, follow your heart, follow your gut, follow your mind and heart connected to. 11 is a conduit for messaging, giving what you've been given from God. And 11 energy is all about putting your thoughts, knowing they're coming from a higher place, and sharing them with other people because you're here to elevate. Elevate. That's what you hear as an 11 to do. Elevate. So just know that you may go through the school of hard knocks because you're going to teach. You only can elevate by being in a place of de-escalation. If you're low and you build yourself up, that's the way you teach. Yes. That's the way you show that you've mastered. And so things may appear to be harder, but what is it? The hardest lessons come to the best students.
Hey.
That's how that works. And that's just a little bit. Now there's more to it, but I know we got to cut this show short.
How can we support you? How can we find you? Can you let people know?
Yes, on Instagram I'm at Germystic, at GERMYSTIC, GERMYSTIC. Yes, I do phone readings. I have no problem doing that. Sharing an array of the gifts that we just talked about and more. And the goal for me is when I do readings, I want you to know that the power is within you and to direct your path in such a way that you're not making excuses, but you're
Yeah.
making strides. And that's the whole purpose of this life.
Ooh, wait, are you asking people to let go of victimhood? What?
Yes. I mean, you can if you want to. If you coming to me, I think you better be ready to do that. I want you to be ready to do that because that's the only way to, it's the only way to reclaim your time, reclaim your power. It's the only way. And I want people to understand.
I know, but let's keep it 100. I like to make excuses too sometimes.
Me too. I'm a work in progress, and I say this all the time. I have a piece that I've written I can share at your spoken word or what have you.
Oh, are you coming to the after party? Let me see. I don't know how many people are in who are. If you are interested in seeing Germystic do his creative thing, now he can also dance. He's very multi-talented like myself. But that's why we friends. All my friends are amazing. This Soulful Journey, y'all have no idea what you are in for because I've been hogging all my friends. But I'm sharing them because life is short.
Yes. Hey.
So I cannot wait and just continue to support Soulful Journey, this show and tell series. I want you to show up. If you know someone who is good for the soul, let me know. All right. Because just some of your friends with me don't hog your friends either. Okay. So that's
right. Yeah.
And we're spreading the love. And I will hopefully see you tonight in the open mic. And if not, next week. All right.
Yeah.
Hawk, his name is Jaquil. He is not new to Soulful Journey. In the original Soulful Journey, not the original, because the original one goes back to us way back in Akron, but I'm talking about the one that I was doing last year, face to face. He was one of our last poets, and he's out of New York. He's amazing. You don't want to miss next week. So make sure you stay tuned. Next week, in the 6 o'clock hour, we will have Jaquel, and he's been on the Apollo. He's just amazing, and he has so much to share. I'll put more information in the Soulful Journey on the Soulful Journey page. So yes, and I think that someone said I received that. And I want you all to I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you. Please share what you've learned from Germystic today with someone. And I just want to say I want to end with this, which is something that I always like to say, and that is keep looking up and keep looking out, because when you can keep looking up and keep looking out, you'll have less fear and less doubt. All right, you'll be always.
You better preach that. Yes. Amen. Amen. You know what? I say this to you, and I say this to those who are watching. I am but a reflection. I am but a reflection. And that actually is the title to my piece that I'll share next time that I'm with you all. So I'm excited. I give nothing but grace and thanks. And in memory of Chadwick Boseman. Yayimbe. Yayimbe.
All day.
Chadwick forever.
Yes.
All right.
What a beautiful spirit we have, a beautiful angel who is resting in power. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time, or I'll maybe see you later tonight. All right.
All right. Yes, for sure. Thank you so much, Venus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.